This is a non-retirement party, isn't it? I mean, he's great. He's been great for years and years and years, isn't he? And he's got some great chances. They'll all be underpriced because it's him.
Yeah.
But I dare say one or two of them will win, won't they?
Yeah, I think.
But he'll be back next year, won't he?
He'll
definitely be. He will be. He's got to be long odds on it, particularly at Royal Ascot.
Sure.
Next year, long odds on to be here next year. It all depends on how it goes in America, but you can't imagine it'll go badly, can you? So,
And do you feel like a lot of his rides today, because of the public being behind him, will be shorter than they should be?
I don't know. It's different now with the exchanges because the Shrewdies sort of prop them up, don't they? If they're too short, I don't think we ever
I think
get.
they start with the bookmakers. They start a little underpriced.
They do. They definitely started underpriced.
You'll see a couple of them. I think Free Rim might be one that drifts. I think that's
Kinross is too short.
That's a thing. Kinross is too short, but he is a very, very plausible, likely favourite winner as well.
If he gets one early, things will start to be backed, won't they?
Yeah.
Well, 6 races to get through, not 7, Keels, or 10. And we're going to, as I say, go through them in fine detail and dissect them and obviously go through winner by winner at the end of it and make everyone lots of money. Well, let's start with the Ascot Kipco British Champions Long Distance Cup. As Keels said, should really be a Group 1. It's a Group 2, but it's a Group 1 in name because it's a phenomenal race. How short is the favourite likely to be, Kiprios?
Around 11 to 8. Market's got it as 2-horse race, really. 11 to 8 Kiprios, 9 to 4 Trushan, and then we've got Coltrane and Trawlerman in there last year, 2nd and 3rd. Coltrane 7s, Trawlerman 15 to 2. Sweet William, 7 to 1, and then you've got some huge prices down the bottom.
Let's start with the favourite because he's been a phenomenal horse and his comeback was good. I mean, he very nearly wasn't with us, wasn't he? If you listened to a lot of Aidan's chat. And it's a minor miracle that he got back. What did you make of his run in the Irish St Leger?
Well, it was nowhere near his best, was it? But there were obviously you've outlined the reasons why. I mean, Aidan said he had to sort of teach him to canter again. He was that bad. He's obviously likely to improve a lot for it, but that's you don't know that. He had a serious injury. He's had one run back. And you're asking us to take 11 to 8, I think Frankie said that. That's pretty short. I think he's by far the best horse in the race. He's a lot better than Trushan at his best, as we saw 2 years ago. But whether he's going to be at his best, that's the risk you take. The market will be really interesting for this race, I think. Because if the boys get stuck in to Kiprios, I think he could go odds on. But if he drifts, then who knows?
And something will happen with the market.
Oh, absolutely.
It will go one way or the other, won't it?
Absolutely. I don't know. I have no idea which way it will go.
Keels is bound to have a mole in the yard.
Yeah. Who love a mole and ain't no blind yard. I mean, the one thing I say...
You've got a mole with Michael Taylor, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Thing about Aidan O'Brien is he said in the paper today he was just about ready to start last time. Now, when he says that before a race, you can lay them quite happily because when he says just about ready, he means literally. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? He can just about walk at the moment. Like, you know what I mean? They're nowhere near fit. So if he's come on an absolute ton, but he needs to. I thought he looked. He said he's a lazy worker. I thought he looked a little bit reluctant in that race, and it all depends. I mean, he had a brilliant season last year, but a hard one because he had some hard races. Even when you win by 20 lengths, you win by you put up that sort of performance on absolutely bottomless ground, and he's had these joint infections or whatever the problem was. So you've got to worry about whether he can come back. He was well below form, a stone below form really when beaten by Eldar Eldarov, and you say, well, it was a nice run, but he had one first time out every other time he'd run. He hasn't been running in Grade 1s, obviously, but there is a question mark over him. So, it will be interesting to see what the betting does. Will they steam in? Do they steam in nowadays at that sort of price? I wouldn't be 100% sure.
I think they do steam in if he's burning the place down at home. But, Frankie, any view? And then we'll move on to the other contenders.
I'm hoping just spoken about Kiprios and his injury. Trushan is obviously coming into this in good form, but has had question marks early in the season. Coltrane's been a bit up and down. I'm hoping at least one of those three bombs out or just doesn't really run to form, and then you're trying to find one to pick up the pieces. So Sweet Williams, my kind of place bet or each way bet, I don't think will be good enough to win if Trushan will or Kyprios run to form, they should win. But I'm hoping one of the top three don't perform today, and Sweet William can pick up some each way money.
I'm going to ask you about Trushan because what a shout a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Maybe it must have been pre-arc. Was it Robbie that said Trushan should just give up? Sorry, Robbie.
Yeah.
I think it was Robbie. I might be wrong. But he's been an amazing horse.
Yeah,
hasn't
absolutely
he?
incredible. Is it three on these? He's one on the back.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So going from getting a horse to run in 4, races of this quality is hard enough. Winning them be amazing. So he's clearly a brilliant racehorse. The Northumberland.
He does everything wrong for a stay.
But he does everything wrong, exactly. But the thing, what you've got to say is that last time proved that he's not as ground dependent as Alan King has made him out to be. It was fast ground in France. He was as good as I'd seen him for ages. He didn't pull. He settled much better in the lead. I think she'll make the running today. I think she might have worked out the way to ride him now, to get him out front. Do you know what I mean? Rather than trying to restrain him behind.
Well, that's it. I mean, he's a horse that's always found, despite the fact that he has pulled.
Yeah.
Why not stick him in front? Because you're going to keep.
But he
finding
didn't
from the
pull
front.
last time, did he?
He was very happy because he's probably wanted to get to the lead. It looks like he wants to get to the lead whenever he runs, doesn't he? So when he has, he's right. Let me go. So maybe that is the answer. Now, and why can't he win? Why can't he win again?
No,
I mean,
exactly.
it needs Kyprios to come right back. He has won 3 on the spin. I backed Coltrane to beat him last year. I was devastated because I thought Coltrane had that race nearly all the way up the straight. But he battled and got up. I'm in his camp today. I mean, it's my. I think it's the least appealing betting race for me because I like getting involved at bigger prices. I just can't get that excited about any of the others, and that's the issue with the race for me. So, and of course, if you are an each-way punter, you've got to hope that those 3 big outsiders all stay in, because one goes and you're only down to 2 places. So, you've got to keep an eye on that.
She's got a good couple of rides, Holly Doyle, hasn't she, here today?
Yeah.
She's got a couple of cracking chances. I know Unite Nashwale. There's a
Loads of chance.
big day. Yeah. So outside of the top 2, where are we looking?
I think Trawlerman he's pretty dependent on the weather and the ground conditions. I think he wants it pretty quick. He ran really well in the race last year. I think he's been sort of John Gosden, or the Gosdens have been getting up to a crescendo for this race. He's sort of the one that's coming in on the sort of the preparation that I like, sort of getting better with each run. He's not quite good enough on what he's shown in the past to cope with an on form.
They were in blinding form last week as well.
Yeah.
When we come to Royal Ascot, he was in pretty poor form for him, Charlie Appleby coming in. But
he's
all
John Gosden, isn't he?
Right. Oh, sorry, it's John Gosden. Sorry.
Yeah. But even
think a dolphin.
Same colours.
Forget that. I mean, the issue with Trawlerman probably is the ground.
Yeah.
But it won't have been a lot slower. It won't have been faster last year, and he's run pretty well.
He's better than when
It was
he was
probably
third
slower.
last year.
It was probably slower last year than it will be today.
And he's got the
run well.
preparation I like. He's sort of just on an upward curve, while you just don't know about a few of the others.
Do you find this day hard in that sometimes horses have just gone over the top?
Yeah, but I like it because you get funny results. We like it.
I mean,
it gives us a chance.
It gives you the hope, but you never know until they have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They show it. I mean, that could have been what happened to Coltrane because he'd had some hard races. I mean, you could call down the Trushan form from Doncaster because he didn't run his race at all, and Trushan beat Sweet William, who was stepping up from handicap, was only rated in the low hundreds. So, but what happens with Coltrane? He loves this place, doesn't he?
Yeah, see, Coltrane's your archetypal horse at this meet.
He's
What do you
supposed to
do
run
with him?
fast ground, but it would have been softer last year when he's only just got chin. If he comes back, he's a player.
So what wins? What's the hard-earned cash on?
Well, the hard-earned cash is on nothing.
Okay.
But I'm hoping Kyprios wins.
Well, none of it was hard earned.
There's no the cash. Let's take that bit out.
Hard-earned from home.
I'm hoping Kyprios wins because he's a big favourite of mine.
Okay.
If I was to have a bet, it'd be Trawlerman.
No, it is hard-earned with you. You've
very
got more than Tom.
Throw my socks off. If I was going to have a bet, and I'm not guaranteed to, it'd probably be just a very small one on Trushan, shout him home to Holly to boot him home for the 4th time in a race.
Frankie? You're here all day, aren't you, beavering
yeah.
away? You work hard.
Yeah, working for it today, definitely. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I couldn't back either Kypros or Trushan against each other. I wouldn't be brave enough to pick a winner, so Sweet William each way.
Good
What
stuff.
about you, Em? You can't get away that easy.
Oh no.
Come on.
So much easier when you're asking the questions. Normally, you know what? None of these lot call me up on that.
Well,
you come back in and you're like, opinion, please.
Exactly.
Trushan.
Good.
Cool. Right. On that note, the 150 is the Ascot Kitco British Champions Sprint Stakes, the first of the Group 1s over 6 furlongs. And Kinross, he's bound to be all the rage. Winner of this race last year, and he's a strong favourite. What price?
13 to 8. But if you are looking for extra places or an each way bet, then we're paying 4 on this instead of 3. Kills or Tom, you said he's too short. He is short at 13 to 8, but I do like Kypros. He's very easy to back, isn't he? So consistent. Was won this race last year, performs well this time of year. He's short, but I'm struggling to really get excited about much else in the field. I think it's maybe a worse field than he beat last year as well. The Dream 13 to 2, Rohan 8 to 1, Millstream 7 to 2. Sandrine comes in a good bit of form, 10s, and then we're into double figures.
We'll start with the favourite, this time with you, Keels. He was unlucky in France, wasn't he, last time? Do you feel or not?
He was a little bit lucky. I'm not 100% certain he would have won.
Right.
You know, my issue with him is I love him. He's one of my favourite horses, and I think we were all on him last year. But he started last year something like 4 or 5 to 1, maybe bigger. In the morning, he went off 3s. He hasn't been as dominant this year as he was last. I mean, he was coming in on the 4-timer last year, I think, wasn't he? And he's a shorter price. And I'm not 100% certain that it is a worse race. I mean, there are different horses. I don't like Vadream. Nothing against her, except the price. She's one of those things.
Why is she so short? Why
yeah,
is she so
she
short?
loves off round. She took advantage. She had an advantage. She had a fitness advantage when she romped away with the Cammage Trophy earlier in the season. She has won a soft round group race on this course, so she's got her conditions. Whether she
was 6th in this.
Whether she's got the
81,
absolute, she was 80 to 1 last year. She's 30 to 2. So whether she's got the quality to be winning a race like this, I wouldn't be 100% certain. So I'd be looking for a horse who may well have, and the one that I came down on, I know Tom has as well, was Sense of Duty for William Haggis, because last year she looked a proper machine going sprinting. She looked like she was going to take a real hand in the big sprint. She won the chip chase at Newcastle, 4.5 lengths from Anaf, who's now rated 110. She absolutely thrashed him. He's won 2 big sprints this year. And she won going away. She looked really powerful at the end, and I think she got a racing post rating of 119. So, and I think Kinross's best is 122. He's given her £3, so she's that level. But she had her problems, minor fractures, and only 1 run. And she came back and she finished 3rd at Newbury over 5 furlongs. Now I thought she handled the ground fine. It's just the fact that she needed the race. William Haggis said so. She doubled in price from the morning to the time she went off. And 5 furlong was way too short, because if you see her run at Newcastle, you'd have said 7 was no problem rather than 5. So, and he did say at the time, we're trying really, really hard to get her to Champions Day. Now, he doesn't try hard to get a horse to Champions Day just for a day out, does he? So he thinks that she's up to it. Her form says she's up to it, and she's a double figure price, and she was the one I came down to.
Kinross, we'll start with the favourite with you. Rafe's had a phenomenal year, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's done brilliantly, hasn't he? Absolutely amazing. 2-year-olds. Incredible. Yeah. But the thing about Kinross, I thought, is that watching the race back last time, he can travel anything like he normally does. I thought he was...
Do you think he
looked a
just
bit sluggish?
Lacked the gear when he needed it last time?
Rafe and Frankie said after the race that he didn't travel like he can do. That would be a worry for me, because he's normally very reliable. I mean, he came home well, like he always will, because he's so honest. But I don't know, 13 to 8, let him run at that. He can win. I'd like him to win. It's like Keel says, how can you not like Kinross? But
have you had a bet?
I have. I've backed Sense of Duty. It's exactly the same reasoning as Keel's. I like horses that I think can win the race by a long way. If I get into the minutiae of that, this one might win if the draw's right. I'm rubbish like that. But if I think a horse has the potential to be a lot better than he or she's shown, then I like backing them, and Sense of Duty is one of those. What I would say is that the sprinting division is completely wide open. You know, we've had handicappers regional, living the dream, win Group 1s this season. They're not a brilliant bunch by any stretch of the imagination. This is a completely winnable race. I don't think the sprinters in this country are any good at all. And so, you know, you're looking for something to come from a different sort of parish to come and beat them. And I think
well, when you look at the Dream being second favourite, that's sort of, as you say, last year it was 60 or 80 to 1.
Yeah, I mean, she's been in a lot better form this year than she was last year. But, you know,
I mean, look, Rohan, we've got to mention
Rohan. Yeah, Rohan. I mean, he's won, what, 3 or 4 times at Ascot?
Yeah, won a handicap.
2 Wokenhams, a handicap here last time. They've all been handicaps.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure that handicap win last time.
That's what I think.
Entitles him to be as quite as short as he is now.
That's what I think. It was trap 18, wasn't he? It was right on the rail. It was a day when everything went up the rail.
Do you have a view about the draw today? I mean, I know it's not a big field.
I have no idea, I gave up trying to work out what the draw was.
What does the weatherman say?
What happened in the sprint last year? Right, Kinross and a couple of others stayed on this side, and it was either the first 2 or the first 3 on this side. For the rest of the meeting, they ignored this side entirely, including all 20 runners in the Balmoral. So who knows what's going to happen? We'll say the stalls are on the far side. So obviously, if you've got a 15-runner race, you're almost bang in the middle. I know they've narrowed it a bit, but you're bang in the middle. So you've got a choice to make. You've got a long way to come over to the stand side now. So I don't think that'll happen. So I think they'll either run down the centre or they will all go far side.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably right, but I have no idea.
I don't care.
Well, it's irrelevant, isn't it? Because if you don't know, I hate back betting on things that I have no way of knowing. I can try and guess it, but every time I do it, I get it wrong.
Yeah, so I'd be surprised if they come all the way over here because just because the stalls are on the far side.
And they've never really done that in this meeting before. They've come up the middle.
They've come up the middle,
or they've
gone far side.
Yeah.
Frankie, what do you fancy?
I do like the favourite. I'm happy to back Kinross at a short price just because he's super consistent. I also like Believing at a bit of a better price. Quite a few of these raced against each other at Haydock, and she was third in that and best of anything that goes again today. Has won on soft ground in France. Probably a little bit more to come from her. I think she might run okay at a decent price, but I'm going to back Kinross.
Good. I think it should.
I mean, you know, outside the others, there are plenty. Like Sandrine's been in really good form. Like, you know, she obviously wasn't a mile behind Kinross at York on fast ground. She handles soft ground very well. Millstream handles soft ground very well. Spycatcher does as well. You know, I think Tom was talking to Tom about it the other day. He went very, very close in the Pre-Moister Geese, which is 6.5 furlongs. Just got run out of it. This is perfect for him as well. So, you know, outside of Kinross, there are loads that you could give chances to. Kinross is easily the most likely winner. But, once you get sub 2 to 1, my eyes glaze over. I don't want to
move on, don't you?
You know, I want to back something else.
I want to have another pint on this race.
I do think Spycatcher's interesting horse, then. I really do. I just think that he will love the ground. And whatever, you know, it doesn't really, it's going to be soft-ish anyway, whatever. But I think he'll love it. I think stiff 6 furlongs through, he's got good form here. He travelled so well in that French race. It wasn't a very good race, to be fair. The horse that beat him was basically a handicapper in France and just got up to beat him. But I think the way the race will go will suit him, so I give him a chance as well.
Okay. Well, I'm not having a bet, but I think Kinross will win. I just think he's better than these. And as you say, I think we lack a super good sprinter. Well, the Racing Post staff have come up with their tips for Champions Day. Check them out here.
The horse that's absolutely, definitely, probably, hopefully, going to win on Champions Day is Bay Bridge, last year's winner of the Champion Stakes. He's too keen in the art last time, but he should be absolutely spot on to defend his crown now.
My best bet at Ascot on Saturday runs in the 225, the Fillies and Mares race. It's Blue Stocking. Rafe Beckett's got a great record at this meeting. Blue Stocking loves soft ground. Probably went a little bit too soon last time when beaten at Chester, but the winner, Al Kareem, came out and scored again next time at Ascot. I think that is a strong piece of form, and the ground has come right for Blue Stocking 225 at Ascot.
My best horse on Champions Day is Facteur Cheval, trained by French trainer Jérôme Régnier. This horse is really interesting. He's placed in Group 1s on his last 3 starts. I thought the ground was probably too quick for him, the Prix d'Ispahan behind Anmar, and similar comments apply on the Prix de Moulin behind Saturn, but there's still really good form. The middle run, he was second to Paddington in Sussex on soft ground. Thought he shaped really well there. Paddington got the rail, and that really helped him out. He's going to re-oppose off £4 better terms with Paddington, and I think his season's just really geared around this. He's got everything in his favour. He shouldn't be as big a price as he is.
Hi, I'm David Jennings, and my nap of Champions Day at Ascot is Sandrine in the Champions Sprint at 150. She's going to have no problem handling this, what is likely to be bottomless ground at Ascot. She won the Albany on really testing ground at Ascot in 2021. And I thought she looked a different filly last time in the Park Stakes at Doncaster. She travelled through that race beautifully. That was over 7, but she would have been a much more impressive winner over 6 that day than she was over 7. The last 100 yards she was starting to get tired. I think she has more than enough pace to cope with this test of speed. And I think Sandrine can give Ushie Murphy a big winner on Champions Day.
The inevitable decision to switch the round course races on Champions Day at Ascot to the inner hurdles course obviously plays into the hands of those who don't want really attritional conditions, and I think that really plays strongly for Mostadaf in the Kipco British Champion Stakes. He was probably the second best horse, arguably the second best horse behind Equinox in Dubai, and he was also imperious in the Prince of Wales's as well here at Ascot, over a mile and a quarter. I think as long as the rain doesn't get into it too badly, he's got a very big class advantage over most of these, certainly on official ratings. He's potentially going to get quite short, but if you can get any of the 7-2 that's around at the moment, I think Mostadaf is going to take an awful lot of beating in a Kipco Champion Stakes.
So my best bet for Champions Day comes in the Champion Sprint Stakes, and it is Ocean Quest for Jessica Harrington. She was 4th over course of distance in the Commonwealth Cup at Royal Ascot, and she'll appreciate the soft ground that's going to be on offer on Saturday. Obviously, you have to put a line through her last run where she was very disappointing, but if bouncing back to form, she should be in the frame and is massively overpriced.
My nap for Champions Day is Sonny Liston in the 425, the lucky last, Balmoral Handicap. This horse has been knocking on the door in big handicaps all season, and I think that he's really good. This is a group horse in a handicap, and I expect him to win, and win well.
So the second Group 1 of the afternoon is up next. It's the Kipco British Champions Fillies and Mares. Mile 3.5. Frankie, how do they bet?
Yes, a bit more open this one, and we are paying 4 places again. I think Jackie O is going to go off favourite around 7-2 after toing and throwing with Free Wind all week. Free Wind 4s, time lock 9-2, Blue Stocking 13-2, above the curve, nice, along with the French runner, Rue Boissonade, and then double figures.
Keels, I'm going to start with you just because you touched on Free Wind very briefly earlier, saying you thought that might be one on the day that does drift.
Yeah, well, the form's a little bit in and out, isn't it? She was out of form last time. She is officially the highest rated filly in the race. She's definitely got a chance. But it's also a race that's gone to 3-year-olds far more often than not. And they're represented by a few chances here. Unexposed coming up, and one I like the most out of those is also trained by John and Thady Gosden, and that's Running Lion. Now, I'm pretty sure that the ground was way too fast for her last time at Newmarket, and I think Ushie Murphy's thinks that he went a bit too quick. The pace collapsed, and the first two had come from way out the back. Now, she was beating a fair way, but she did beat all the others that had raced up with a pace quite comfortably. And I can't get away from how easily she destroyed Sumo Sam on soft ground at Newmarket earlier in the season. That was only 1 mile and 2, but she wasn't stopping that day. I can't believe it was a stamina issue at Newmarket last time, based on that run. And she's going to be back on this ground, and I just think she's likely to go very, very, very well. I mean, obviously we've lost Roaring Lion as a sire, but I mean he's had some cracking, got a cracking record with runners at Ascot as well. You know, he had 2 or 3 places at Royal Ascot this year, and yeah, I think he's got a good chance at a decent price. He'll get a more patient ride this time.
Tom, I'm going to start with Free Wind. What did you make of her run in the Arc? She didn't show at all, did she?
Yeah, it was far too good for them. I mean, she's not that good, is she? I mean, I think it was sort of Frankie needs a ride type.
But a bold call to runner, and it's not something that the Gosdens would do lightly, is it?
Raise the drawbridge, Mr. Strawbridge might have wanted a runner. I don't know. I don't know. I don't. She had no chance, did she? Look, on her best form, as Keel said, she's the highest rate filly in the race. She could easily bounce back. Gosdens have a very good record in the race. They have, they wouldn't be running out. And she's Frankie's choice. I liked Sweet Memories when I first saw the decks, but there was never any doubt that Frankie was going to ride her, which he wrote. He was second on her in the race. Keels was talking about the Running Lion race, and there was never any doubt that he was going to ride her. He was always going to ride Free Wind. She is the classiest filly in the race. It's just I don't back horses that came 14th.
No.
Last time at an end
whatever
of the
run,
race,
whatever race,
especially at 7-2. You know what I mean, or 4-1 or whatever it is. She was a big price. You could say, forget that. Let's move. Let's have another crack at her because she's so good. But she's at her market. Jackie O is interesting because I think she'll like the step up to 1.5 miles.
It was a good run in the Opera, wasn't it?
It was a good run. It was a decent run for sure. I'm not convinced. I mean, Blue Rose Sen was obviously far too good for her, but she will enjoy the step. I backed her to win the Sandringham, was it here earlier in the season?
The only time she's ran terribly.
Horrible, wasn't
Well,
she?
she's got one. Yeah, she's got. That's one mark against her. She's got a horrible run at Ascot. To her. Yeah, but it's interesting in the paper today. Aidan O'Brien says, we've always hoped she'd go 1 mile 4 furlong. Well, he's run her 7 times this year, so why hasn't he? You know what I mean? So it was a bit strange. I mean, obviously they could have had plenty of others they could have run in the race, couldn't they? So.
That's the point, isn't it? She saved the last dance, warm heart. She's got the
exactly.
Got the
So
that's
the chosen one with Ryan Moore, and I don't think Above the Curve will get home.
No.
So she's very much the #1 string for them, and
I thought Time Lock was quite interesting.
I like Time Lock. I'm a bit worried about the ground, but she has form in soft ground. I was really impressed with her last year when she was second in the Galtrees to Ascoy, who I think was going to be a really top filly before she got injured, and then. I was really disappointed with the start of the season, but Ryan, in one of his things, said that she got jarred up on very fast ground at Haydock one day and was never the same, but she's come back the last twice. I thought she was really impressive at Newmarket.
Very impressive.
I thought she was super good, and she is on an upward curve, while loads of these have been running around trying to win races like this and haven't been able to, or haven't been able to. I think what she showed at Newmarket last time looked like a Group 1 filly to me. I think she'll stay really well. The ground is a slight issue, but she did finish in front of Free Wind. I know it was terrible ground at Goodwood. In fact, it was unraceable ground, but she did plug on.
Yeah.
Which gives me hope that she'll act on the ground despite her preferring better ground. I think she'll run really well.
Yeah, no, me too. Blue Stocking, Keels?
Blue Stocking, I mean, I liked her at the start of the season. I was backing her for all sorts. And we keep thinking that, she's one of those slow burners. She's going to mature, but she's maturing into a non-winner, isn't she? She just doesn't seem to get the job done. And I think in a race like this, it's going to be really hard work. Something will outbattle her. I mean, I know Tom's not a massive fan of Camelot anyway, are you? But
Camelot as a sire at all.
Yeah,
they flatter to deceive. They look brilliant. There's so many horses that have started favourite for Derby's, Oaks, and whatever, and they never quite do it. So
I mean, you can definitely see her being on the premises.
She's definitely got the form to be in there.
But whether she'll win or not,
I think got mentioned the Frenchie.
Oh, the Frenchie's interesting. Obviously, she was second last time, and didn't get the run of the winner. She wouldn't have beat the winner. My issue is it's 1 mile 6 furlong, and because this has gone to the inner track, this is a half a furlong less than it would have been on the outer track. and we're down to one.
If it got very soft, if the rain came, and because I think Ascot's very dependent. If the rain comes on the day, it can get very soft very quickly. But if the rain came this afternoon and made it a test of stamina, she's right.
It is going to come. I had a long chat with the doorman today while I was waiting for my pass. Let me tell you, and we went through the weather app together.
Oh, did you?
Hour by hour, because he's here till the end. There is rain forecast.
I'm going to check the weather.
Hold on.
Hold on.
This is not the weather app.
Why didn't she ask the doorman
seeing
when you're here?
Yeah,
exactly.
What she doesn't know is,
disappointing.
she doesn't know is I was moonlighting. I am the doorman. No, the one I'm looking at now was actually forecasting lows between 7 and 10, and nothing's happened.
No, the doorman did not say that.
There's not much
from 2 o'clock.
Not much more forecast.
His app said.
It doesn't look like it's going to rain out either, does it, out the back?
They change it by the hour, don't they?
I feel like I'm sacking you with that
He's
role.
rubbish.
What's going to win? No, he is, because every Friday we do these programmes.
It's just rubbish.
He says it's going to be 25 mils at Newmarket tomorrow. It's going to be heavy, and sometimes
It was.
It was. There was 29 mil that day at Newmarket. What happened?
No.
There's
going to be none at Ascot, he said. It goes to heavy ground. No.
Blue sky out there.
You're sacked. Right, what's going to win
I
this
like
race?
time lock, Em.
So do I.
I like time lock.
Okay, I hear you. Kills?
Running Lion.
The Frenchie
Frankie.
and the rain. The rain and the Frenchie double. It's going to rain and the French horse is going to win.
See, we've avoided pronouncing it very nicely.
Yeah, all of us
the whole
managed to get around that. Frankie had to give it a go when he was reading the prices at 8 to 1 bar. Right, the 305, the QE2, another Group 1, and this is a fantastic race. We've got Paddington in the lineup once again. How short is he going to be?
9 to 4 for the Iron Horse, as we've been calling him, which I think is quite fair. Tira 3s to beat the boys. Nashua, which we know Keels likes, 10 to 3, and then you're in some bigger prices. Big Rock 7s, Chaldean 10s, and bigger for the rest.
Okay, let's start by talking about Paddington. How good a racehorse is Paddington?
I don't know. I thought he was really good when he won the St James's Palace. Not been totally convinced of him since I'm not sure a mile and a quarter is his trip, really. I don't think he's been at his best. I mean, you can make holes into in the Eclipse form with what's her name, Emily Upjohn, and then in the Sussex State it was a non-event, really, wasn't it, on that bad ground?
Yeah.
And then last time, as much as if you've watched that race again, I think it's pretty hard to think that Nashua won't beat him
The
again.
doorman's coming in.
I know.
He's cross at my weather analysis.
He's not happy with
banging on the door.
I know.
That's my bacon butties, that is.
I thought it was
Sorry.
Guinness Keels.
So, I keep getting sidetracked by the door smashing it.
So if you watch that York race again, it's pretty hard to think that he's going to beat Nashua. He had the run of the race on Nashua from at a track that would have suited those up with it, and Nashua ran clean past him pretty much. Now I know it's back in trip, but Nashua's a pretty good filly. I'm with Keels on this one. Tahira's got plenty to find on form, but she's done absolutely, I hate saying it, but she's been really consistent all season long, hasn't she? And I thought she was better than ever in the Matron last time in Ireland. I was a bit disappointed with her in the Coronation here. I thought it was a bit of a rubbish race. She only beat Remarque by a length. And as Keels will point out, Nashua beat her by 5. 5.
Gave her £9.
Gave her in the Falmouth. So pretty hard to make it's pretty easy to make a case that Nashua's the best filly, the best horse in this race. Beaten Paddington. She's beaten Paddington, and the form with Remarque makes her better than Tahira. So
I don't see why Tahira's as short as she is.
No,
for me.
No, I think she's
I know when she ran pre the
next to her name.
the Matron last time, you were sort of trying to find something to get her beaten, weren't you?
Yeah, but it wasn't a brilliant race,
No.
was it? I mean, she's good. She's very good.
Yeah.
But she doesn't quite have the body of form that Nashua has, and I don't understand why Nashua is a bigger price. Okay, there's not that much between them now, but with a slightly different ride, she could have beaten Mostadav in the International. She could have beaten August Rodin because she came from miles away, and they sort of dominated that up front.
How do you think they'll ride Nashua today?
Cold as usual, but there's pace in the race as well, and it will suit because obviously she's a very strong stayer at a mile because she's been running in those top Group 1s at a mile and 2, and I think the mile and 2 horses have more quality than the milers anyway. Like, what I mean? She's shown she's one of the best of those. And yeah, when she dropped down in Trip for the Falmouth, I mean, she looked brilliant.
She was brilliant.
Absolutely destroyed them. Okay, now let's not pretend that was the hottest race in the world because it was a Fillies Group 1. But by the same token, she absolutely laughed at them. They're going to go hard here. She has no issues whatsoever with soft ground. She travels really well on it, and keenly. But she, when running over 1 mile and 2, I don't think she quite gets home on it. So obviously just about getting beaten in the Nassau, having looked a real danger 2 furlongs out. I think this is going to be absolutely perfect for her. I don't see why she shouldn't beat Paddington again. People seem to think that he was below form in the Jubilant International because that's his first loss, but I think that form was right up with the best of what he's done. You could argue easily that his Sussex Stakes win was worse form than the Jubilant International. Beat a couple of average horses, in fact, Cheval and Sharin. I mean, they're not top Group 1 horses, are they? So, there's nothing absolutely special about his form other than the fact that he had a load of ones next to his name and he looked really progressive. But now he's got beat, we know he's got a limit, and I think that limit is slightly below what Nash was capable of.
I feel like we're all, Frankie, very much in Nashwa's camp, are we?
Might have been persuaded.
Convincing arguments to my right.
I think it's between Paddington and Nashwa. I don't know.
You're swaying Paddington.
Yeah, I think maybe in the Jubilant that was harder work for him that day on quick ground. Frankie was really controlling the race, and I think back to a mile at Ascot on slightly softer ground will bring out a little bit more in him, and I'm hoping he reverses the form with Nashwa. But I think it is between those two for me.
Any word on the English Guineas winner, Chaldean? Has that got a chance, or...?
Trainer seems bullish that he's got him back. I mean, the Guineas is actually littered with horses who don't do much after it when they've won it. I mean, obviously there are quite a few exceptions as well, but he just looks like one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to mention another Frenchie, the Big Rock. He ran into Ace Impact, didn't he? A couple of runs ago or whatever, and wasn't totally disgraced. He got run down by him, but every horse gets run down by Ace Impact. He's got loads of good form.
But he's also smashed up Horizon Doors, hasn't he?
Thrashed Horizon
5
Door.
lengths and 7 lengths and 2 times the race against.
Exactly. Likes soft ground. Don't want him to get into a sort of a smash up with Chaldean up front.
Well, that's it. They're going to set it up for Nashwa.
I wonder whether...
Come on, Nashwa.
I wonder whether Frankie might be a little sort of not be so aggressive on Chaldean, because I think he got in a bit of trouble in the St James's Palace, and they weren't happy with his ride. I think he went too hard. So I wonder whether he'll be a little bit more circumspect on him today, which might give Big Rock a better chance. But I think they're going to go a good pace. And I think we like Nashwa.
We do.
I do agree with you, Kills. I'm not saying that Paddington is this superstar that he was getting talked about, and I do think he ran to form in the Jubilant.
Yeah, he's a very, very tough horse.
Yeah.
He's going to be there or thereabouts, isn't he? But, I'm not 100% sure he's got the same quality as Nashwa for me anyway.
Okay, 3:45, the Kipco Champion Stakes. How do they bet?
How do they bet? Mostadaf. Now your favourite, 10-3. King of Steel, horse I can't seem to make my mind up on, 7-2. Bay Bridge, 5s along with Horizon Door. And then Via Sistina will have a good chance in this, 15-2. And then we're into bigger prices.
Take it away, Tom.
Yeah, Mostadaf was interesting, wasn't it? On Wednesday, John Gosden was down here walking the track, and all of a sudden the track gets moved and all his horses are suddenly favourite. I mean, imagine Tiger Woods saying, I don't want to play at St Andrews, let's play at this one. Or, the spinner, Shane Warne coming, that pitch is no good for me, let's play on this one. Do you know what I mean? It seemed a bit strange to me, but there we go. Clearly got a very good chance, isn't he? A brilliant 10 furlong horse.
Yeah.
Won the 2 best 10 furlong races this season. I'm not entirely... He's got a bit of back body of evidence that says he's not an absolute superstar. I'm sort of lukewarm on the Prince of Wales' form. I thought everyone seemed to know that everyone else in the race had lost a leg before the start. I mean, he was 25 to 1 shot in the morning, started 10 to 1 and won easily. So I'm a little bit lukewarm on the form. I thought he was good at York, but he got the perfect ride on a track that suited front runners at York, and nothing could get to him. So I get it that he's favourite. He's the highest rated horse in the race. He's got the best form, so I get it. He's just not in my sort of horses I love. So I was looking for something different. I'm hoping just about 3:45, about 3:15 after the Nashville race, the heavens do open, because I think there's potential for an upset in this race. I don't think you can make cases against all the ones at the top of the market. I thought Via Sestina had a chance if it got very soft, because she's very good on it.
Yep.
I thought My Prospero had a chance on his third last year. He's coming back after he got a bit of a confidence boost the last time. But the one I really like is Royal Rhyme. I just like horses that are on an upward trajectory. He's 4 from 4 with soft in the ground. The form of his, I know it was a handicap at Goodwood, but the form has worked out incredibly well, and you can only win handicaps the way he did if you're top class. That day, the figures, everything, the time, everything about it tells me he was
Blew you away.
Yeah, he's really, really good that day, and I thought he did really well to catch that. I know he was only Pride of America, who wouldn't be in Baybridge or Mostadav's class, but he gave him 7-length start and still rallied him down and won by a couple. I thought that was a really good effort too. If it is soft, and I expect it could be, I think he'll run really well. I do. I think he's just a horse on the upward trajectory. I like them.
I agree. I was at that day, and it was impressive. I'd backed Pride of America actually, and watching the
Watched
gap
it
slowly
run it down. Painful death.
Yeah, it was, but it was impressive by Royal Rhyme, and certainly looked like there's a lot more to come.
What do you think, Keels?
Well, I was going to back him until I got the notion that they were going to switch tracks. And then I thought to myself, he probably does want proper soft ground, because just the way he went through it at Goodwood tells you he does. And knowing that it was almost good to firm earlier in the week, I just thought it wouldn't be quite soft enough for him. I wanted to take on the front of the market, but at the time, Horizon Door was 7-4 across the board.
Yeah.
Right, and he's now 5-1. And I'm not saying I'm going to back him, because I thought he was a dreadful price. He has got some seriously fast sectionals to his name in France, but in lower grade company. When he beat Jack Darcy last time, and I think he's won 4 in a row. None of the horses he's beaten would have been less than 100-1 for this, but he has done it very easily. But 7-4 was a stupid price. So I wanted to go in and have something else. I half thought about King of Steel, but I didn't really like his price either. I think too much was made of the fact that he was ridden from off the pace at Leopardstown last time. Nashua went straight past him, left him for dead. I came down on My Prospero, who was third last year. He's got some good form here, isn't he? He was second. Sorry, he was a close third in the Coronation last year as well. Beat half a length in this race last year. Would have been second in another 50 yards. Hasn't been absolutely at his best, but they've got a confidence boosting win out of him at Goodwood after a little break, and they've stuck the tongue tie and blinkers on him. Now, he's always looked like he might need blinkers to sharpen him up. Whether he does or not, I don't know. William Haggis isn't brilliant with headgear compared to how he is normally. You've got some trainers who'll have like a 30% strike rate, way above their normal strike rate. Haggis's is about 16%, which is lower than his normal strike rate. So I often think it's a last resort with him when he puts headgear on. So I'll put that down as a negative rather than a positive. But he is a horse that looks like he wants it. He does want some, and he does like the track. And I think 12-1, he's got the form to be there or thereabouts.
So just recap.
Yeah, well, I echo what Keel says about Horizon Door. He's becoming a backable price. He was as quick as Ace Impact over the last 3 furlongs at Longchamp last time, and he was very fast the time before. So, but I like Royal Rhyme, but I might be swayed to have a few quid on him as well. Horizon Door.
Yeah, I'm a massive. I'm sorry. I back My Prospero. I could easily see Mostadaf winning easily. I think there's way too much going on about him not handling soft ground. I think that's potentially absolute nonsense, because he may have been tailed off in the Arc last year, but that was 1.5 miles, and he's 1.25 miles horse.
Yeah.
So if you get soft ground at 1.5 miles, you're going to get thumped.
Yeah.
Right? He has 2 other runs on soft ground to his name. He won both of them. Earned the comment smooth headway both times. You don't make smooth headway on soft ground
If you don't
handle it.
No.
And each time it was a clear career best at the time. So he can't not handle soft ground.
I've backed Mostadaf actually earlier in the week, echoing what Keel said, because he was about 7s, because I think people thought he wasn't going to run, or if he did, it was going to be heavy ground and he was going to hate it, and I thought the same as what Keel's just said. I don't really think that's the case.
See, you're a shrewdy. You see, I was playing golf yesterday afternoon. I was saying, crikey, it's hot, isn't it? I wonder what price Monster Daff is. By the time I got in, he was freeze.
Exactly.
Snooze, you lose. If you will play golf the day before Champions Stakes. Right, the Racing
Hard
Post.
earned. You told me you was a hard worker.
Well, you know.
Hey, the score I got off of Millington was harder.
I feel like he works hard. He's always in the Racing Post office. I feel like more than you, anyway.
Well, that's not hard.
Well, the Racing Post has got the new race cards on the app. Check this out now.
You spoke, we listened. Introducing Race Cards Redefined. 3 brand new and unique race cards tailored for your needs. Our new and improved standard race card is the punter's favourite and is everything you need to make your selection. Get the maximum amount of information
So we
in the palm of
conclude
your...
with just the one race, and it is the handicap, and your favourite race, nearly of the year, the Balmoral. How do they price them up? Because it's pretty open at the top, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and 5 places are available. Docklands should go off your fav, 13-2. Sunny Liston and Almabeer, 7s. Then we've got 52, 72, 10. I mean, it's wide open. I'll let Kills take it away, really, because I'm hoping he's going to have a swing at a good price.
Okay, well, I'm going to start by saying I was going to say it to you, but there's no point. The draw. Is there any relevance to the draw? Because you're going to go, I don't know, and I don't care.
Exactly.
But there is a factor, isn't there, or not?
Escobar won from
20 runners.
Escobar won from stall 21 a few years ago. The only winner in the last 10 years to come from higher than 11.
Yeah.
And I think that is largely because they do end up going over to the far side.
Yeah.
Like I said, Migration, who I backed last year, was drawn in 20 and 21, 22, something like that, and he ended up from the stands rail to the far rail. And if you give that much ground going early, because you'll get your clever mathematicians tell you that if you go diagonally, and use Pythagoras theorem, the difference is like that much. But they don't go diagonally; they go in a big zigzag like that, and it costs them ground. And if they, I'd always rather they rode to their draws, but that tends not to happen. So if they all go over the far side, I'd want something a bit lower than in high double figures. Migration is in 11 this time. He should be able to get a reasonable spot. That becomes 10 because one of the reserves was drawn in stall 1. So I think that'll be fine. He's got a big weight, isn't he? He's running off a mark of 113. But he did absolutely hack up in that Lincoln in March. He absolutely sluiced up. He had any amount in hand, to my eyes. One poor run since over a mile and 2 in a small field. This horse is a big field horse who wants a strong gallop, soft ground, and that race worked out so well. I mean, the horses he beat won 16 Class 2 handicaps this season since, including the Hunt Cup, the Buckingham Palace, the Challenge Cup here, the International, so the International as well, and many other big races, loads of places. 2 of the first 4 at the Cambridgeshire, etc.
That's
just an amazing.
You're right. That's hard work.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
You wouldn't reel off facts like that.
What?
Never heard of any of those races.
So they are. I mean, it was a really good. It was a really, really high class run, and if there's a horse capable of defying that sort of market, it would be him. I've backed Radeberg as well, again on the class angle. He's the second top weight. He has spent the best part of the last 2 years running in group and listing company, trying to make the run in, and I think that's making up for the fact that he's always running in small fields, and he needs a bit of a gallop. When he won the Irish Lincoln in March last year, he was held up, and he stormed through the pack, won very, very easily. He's won a silver bowl on heavy ground at Haydock in his earlier years. He actually ran in the Champion Stakes last year. Or the QE2 last year. Ran in one of them last year. Only beat 1-0. But yeah, he's been way too highly tried. I remember Tom tipped Equilateral at York earlier on this season. Said, look, this is his first run in the handicap it was actually ever in Britain. He might just outclass him. That's exactly what he did. And maybe Radeberg will run a massive race coming back in the handicap company.
So it's all about migration. You?
And Radeberg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, 2.
Yeah, I get cases for both of them. As you say, I'm not worried about draws. I'm not. So I'm in trap 23. Al Move Here is the one I like. It's the furthest away from the far rail, but I know William Haggett's nearly won it with a horse in exactly the same stall last year, Sweet Believer. She was in 20 and she nearly won. As Keel says, Escobar won from 21. So I'm not, listen, if I said they're going to up the far side, they'll come up the near side. So I get it.
It is what it is.
I get it more wrong than I get it right. So I take it out of the equation. I think he's got a good chance. Frankel, we can't not mention Frankel at any Ascot meeting. He has got Time Lock. He's got Nashwa. He's got Mostadaf. Almubir is another Frankel horse, and Frankel ground is not an issue, but he absolutely loves soft ground. And he was behind Migration in the Lincoln, but I just think he's one of those that I like on the preparation. He's on an upward curve, ran over 7 furlongs last time. He's a really strong stayer at a mile. I just think he's got everything going for him today. And it's William Haggett's got a great record in the race. Aldari 2 years ago, and then, as I say, Sweet Believer, was it last year, who should have nearly won, I thought. So.
Well, yeah, may well have won it. It hung across the track in the end, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like, that was one of those that ran more to his draw early.
Yeah.
Right, and stayed on the outside. Stayed on the outside of the group that went across.
Yeah.
But then in the last furlong,
yeah, exactly.
Probably just cost himself the race.
And the other one I'd mention is Dermot Weld's horse called. He's got a great record. Dermot Weld. And
I haven't got it in front of me.
And he won the 2 biggest handicaps over a mile in Ireland this season. The one at Galway and the Irish Cambridgeshire second last time. He didn't stay at 10 furlongs last time. He's by Dubawi out of Irresistible, best bred horse in the race. Big pedigrees, man. Just thought soft ground mile here might be perfect for him as well.
Frankie, in a word, what wins?
Talk about a 6-7 race card. I did a 5 race card.
In one word.
Sonny Liston.
Yes. Sonny Liston.
You'd avoided him. Brown.
No. We're not getting away with the programme without talking about Sonny Liston. It's going to be his day. It's going to be his day.
Well, it could be. He's one of those. I backed him last time.
Second in the Hunt Cup. He went to win at Doncaster last time, and Ryan had his stick caught in his reins.
You're not moaning about the Hunt Cup.
No, I'm not moaning about it. I'm just saying he deserves his day.
He has been
But £4 for getting beaten a nose
He has
last
been unlucky.
time might just kill him
I
today.
was at Doncaster last time.
Straight mile at Ascot. Ryan is going to deliver today.
It did look like he was going to win last time, did he? And Ryan couldn't use the whip, but I was there. Right, and you represent the owners. Where were you?
I was watching from home. Anyway, enough of that. Right, Nats. Best bets of the day.
Kim Ross.
Wait. Hang on.
You should start with Tom, I think.
Okay, stop. Sorry.
I like
Hero.
Time Lock.
Me too, but it's not my nap. But I'm with you.
Nashwa is going to blow the 3-year-olds away in a QE2.
Is this make or break of your day, Nashwa?
No, it won't totally break it. It'll definitely make it.
Frankie?
Kim Ross. Straightforward, isn't he?
Straightforward.
Yeah.
Let's hold on. What's your nap then?
Sonny Liston.
Never.
Look, I'm predictable and all that. Right, plans for the day. You're not staying.
No, I'm off to watch Reading lose at football.
Will they win or not?
No, they'll lose. They're absolutely hopeless.
God, that sounds a cracking match to go and watch. Here for the day?
Here for the day, I don't know what I'm going to do for the next hour because that's how long it takes for the bar open.
Oh no. Stop it. I'm sure you'll find somewhere. Frankie, here for the day?
Here for the day, yeah. Roaming presenting today. So,
Brilliant.
Nice. Yeah, be good fun.
Well, I very much hope you don't get wet and the doorman's forecast is not right. Thank you very, very much indeed. Frankie, Tom for getting out of bed and blessing us with your presence. Keels for being here as always. We'll see you again soon. Good luck today, punting.